All right, welcome everyone that just joined me. I am playing some Anthem today. On the 12th of January, Anthem servers are actually going offline. We won't be able to play this as far as I know until some modders get in there and do their thing. We won't be able to play this anymore. Hopefully we can play this offline. Someone will do something that'll let us play offline without always needing to be connected. But as of right now, 12th of Jan seems to be the last time we can play this game. Now, Anthem had its problems. Anthem had some really good things about it, but ultimately it failed. Now, what I'm going to do in this live stream is simply record some content for the video I'm going to be making about it and about its journey. And I'm going to reveal some things that I couldn't talk about before. One such thing, I just talked about it before to people who joined me previously, is that I was one of the handful of people in the world that got to play Anthem 2.0. Their 2.0 was their way of refreshing the game. When I say handful, I mean like 5 people. 5 people in the whole world besides the devs that were working on it. Now, the fact that it didn't release will probably give you an idea of where that content was at. Let's just say I was the only one in the world that said it wasn't good enough. But we'll get into that. First though, I want to make a new pilot and I want to play around with the game and really refresh my memory on what was good, what was bad, and why it deserved to fail. And I think one of the main reasons why I think it deserved to fail was the fact it simply didn't have enough content. Now, let's create a new pilot and make sure everyone knows that I'm live. Give me 1 second. Alright, we are live. Let me just post that we are. Perfect. Alright. All right, so let's begin. I think we are live. Yep, public, live. All right, we are finally live. It's taken a while. I had my neighbor, unfortunately, start cutting their lawn the first time in a year when I decided to finally live stream. Now, here we are playing some Anthem. I'll just repeat myself for those just joining me. It's been a bit of a process getting this all working, but I'm making a video on the overall feel of Anthem, where it went from development to all the way to release, what its problems were, what its pros, its cons. The fact that I was actually involved in a little bit of Anthem, which I'll go through in a second, and that the servers are shutting down on the 12th of January, meaning that we will no longer be able to play this game. Not that many people are currently playing it. but unless some kind modders come in and do something to the source code and let us play offline, no one will be able to jump into this game anymore in a few weeks. When you're watching this, I don't know, maybe you can't play it now already, but yeah, so we're gonna go in, we're gonna play right from the start of the game. So I'm gonna make a new pilot and we're gonna see how we feel about this game. Once more into battle. Yes. So, like I was hinting at, I was one of the handful of people in the world that got to play Anthem 2.0, which was their way of essentially rebooting the game. Did it do that? Well, the fact it didn't release at all is probably an indication that no, it did not. Now, it was an interesting process. I went to EA Play and it was me and around 5 people total. So me and maybe about 4 other people. They got to play Anthem 2.0. We got to play it and then we went into a room with the developers and we got to give our feedback. Now, I was last in table order and every single person went through all the things they loved about Anthem 2.0. And then the next person, then the next person, then the next person. They all came up with their own unique things that they really loved about it. And it got to me, and it was my responsibility to say the truth. And I hate to call everyone else out that were there, but the simple matter is no one else was saying that it was not good. It got to me, and I said, my exact words were, I feel like I'm going to have to be the asshole here, but it wasn't very good. It isn't enough. This isn't going to get people back into Anthem. And the reason why it wasn't enough is because Anthem 2.0 only added a few more modes. And one of those modes was to fly through rings like in Superman 64. And there wasn't any new enemies, there wasn't any new weapons, there wasn't any new gear, any new javelins, any new content. It was just garbage. So I had to tell them that. And then after I said that, everyone else that was there started talking about what they didn't like. So I got the ball rolling. Anyway, the devs after came up to me and talked to me a bit more about what I thought, and they didn't go up to the others at that point. Now this sounds like I'm being a bit vindictive or facetious, but this was the point where I think that a lot of developers started getting feedback from the community, because if they had gotten that feedback from the start, I don't think they would have made those mistakes. All right, let's start. Yeah, Anthem came out maybe 5 or so years ago now, wasn't it? Nearly 6 years. It was 2019, wasn't it? So this was a long time ago. This was one of my first trips to LA, actually. So I can't remember what to do here. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's been a long time since I started a new Javelin. But this was, I think, one of the reasons, and you can probably all see this. This was one of the reasons why this game failed, is they had this weird hub that they thought would be enjoyable for us to go back to. And really, all it was a place to get us to buy things with real money. So these little triangle things, you kind of had to purchase with real money. And if you wanted these, you know, upgraded looks for your javelins, or you wanted little bits of cosmetics, welcome to my store, you kind of had to spend real money. And this was, I mean, their answer to Destiny, right? So they wanted some way to get more money, but then you had to pay full price to buy the game to start with. It wasn't like you can just jump in and play. And the other problem was you're playing with 3 other friends most of the time, but they wanted you to come back to this hub world and go through a rich storyline that Bioware is known for delivering. And unfortunately, you can't do that with friends. You can't sit there and listen to content while you've got 3 other friends like giving you shit on Discord. It just doesn't happen. All right. So hazard pay, free play, change me. Okay, what do we do here? I'm not paying attention. So easy, normal. Okay, so we'll go normal. We'll go incursion, I guess. Yeah. Give that a shot. We'll go quick play. All right, let's do it. All right. Feels like you're walking on rails, like a ride from Disneyland and you're watching a screen or something. Yeah. What's going on? Don't tell me it crashed. Did the game just crash? Oh man. If the game just crashed, I will laugh my head off. No, okay, alright, we're good. Game didn't crash. It just struggled for a little bit on my 4090. But we are loading. You can see the bar at the top there. Now, back to Anthem. I was really excited about this game. I think Anthem was the beginning of the don't pre-order phase of gaming, right? It was a handful of people, including myself, got to play the game early, and they gave us the most delicious preview event. It was really good. Like, the game felt awesome at that preview. So all of the journalists, myself included, went away thinking this game is going to be sick. So we all said that. Everyone. There wasn't a single person that thought it was going to be bad. And then the game released and there was no content. So everyone that went ahead and pre-ordered because everyone else thought it was going to be sick, disappointed a lot of people, to say the least. Alright, I've actually forgotten how to play, so you're just going to have to bear with me here. So, I can jump, I can hover. The black virus, I don't know who that is, but okay. Shift is to fly.
Have you found those fragments yet?
So I think we've joined mid game. All right, here we go. So the guns and the combat, they feel good. Like, it feels good to fly around. Like, this feels sick. Like, we're playing a storm javelin, I believe, where we can, I can't remember what button it is to hover, but we can hover. I'm gonna have to go through the tutorial again. Actually, let's just do that. Let's just go through the tutorial. Okay, maybe we won't abandon these guys since there's probably only 3 people left in the world, right, playing this game.
Let's fragment down.
Okay, so Z is put up a shield. All right. And
Silenced. I knew you could do it.
Q. Oh, just do your ability. Cool, 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 cool. And E. Throw the fireball. Alright, alright. We're getting there, we're getting there. V is melee.
I've never seen one of those come out of a relic.
Fantastic. Right, now there's the boss of some kind. Throw fireball. Okay, okay, okay. I probably should get out of here, right?
That fragment will help.
Okay, now I've got my my ultimate, it seems. I do have my Iron Man hat on, because this was meant to be the ultimate Iron Man fantasy, and it would have been if they just released goddamn more content. So let's try this ultimate, shall we?
This is it, Freelancer. You can finish it.
There we go. dropping meteors on their ass. Fantastic.
You did it!
We did it.
Doomsday relics.
How do I
Destroyed.
actually hold on? Do I hold? No, I really need to do this tutorial again. I'm pretty sure I started a new game, but for some reason it didn't throw me straight into it.
Freelancer?
Maybe because I played around with the
It's
settings.
over.
Alright. Here we go. I think I did like the default Javelin the most. The one that fired the missiles and looked the most like Tony Stark's.
Freelancer? I've
Suit?
never seen a relic do
What are we
that.
doing here?
Hold tight. We'll get
What
this
are we
done.
doing?
Rim,
Yes. Oh, looks like we found it.
Alright, so we're dodging fire. Alright, cool. You guys need to keep in mind, I haven't played this game in like 5 years. So I really need a refresher here.
It's making echoes? Grab them to silence it. We can't let this thing reach the board. It could destroy everything.
that's why we won't let it.
Can I change my weapon? Yeah, there we go.
I thought silencing the relic would get rid of this thing.
It didn't.
Yeah, I didn't really like this Javelin that much, the Storm Javelin. It was cool. I mean, it was like the spellcaster, right?
You're wearing
But you're in these
I hope so.
high-tech fancy suits. I don't want to be throwing fireballs. I want to be throwing missiles. Okay, so it's double tap spacebar to hover. I'm guessing. Yeah, see, double tap. All right. I got it. I got it. And these are items. Not that they're going to matter at all.
That's it?
I think that's it.
The
That's
2 epic items.
really
Oh, that was another thing as well.
Really it.
scars, the relics, they
Another thing as
scar.
well is that you picked up items, but you didn't see what they were until the end of the game. Until the end of the match.
See me back at the fort when you
So-
answer.
Yeah. Sweet. All right, we finished our first mission. I don't know what we did. We were carried by these two. Thanks, guys. Let's play the actual tutorial now. But first, let's see what you're all saying. Hey, duty. All right. So, Dan, what was your favorite Shepherd plays you've done? My favorite. Probably the tier list, honestly. Probably the crew tier list. That was a bit of fun because I was laughing the whole way through making that. There was a lot of writing involved, but I made a long script with that video. It was probably about 20 pages long. And I ended up only using probably about 2 or 3 pages overall because after recording all those 20 pages, I'd made so many edits that it eventually became something else entirely. But I do have something in mind with how to end that series. I just am trying to get it past YouTube's algorithm right now, which is constantly flagging everything I make. So once I figure it out, it'll be up. Yeah, you can still play Shadow of War offline. That is a good point. That is actually the series that I started my channel with. Yeah, the servers are really getting shut down, guys. I'm sorry to say. It's a bit of a... It's a bit sad. I'm gonna be honest, but... I really wish they did... I might just quickly check my Steam health. But I really wish they did... buckle down and do a No Man's Sky with this game. Instead, we got Dragon Age Inquisition, right? So I'm level 30. What is going on? All right, let's actually start a new character. Clearly, I didn't. You actually liked Andromeda. Look, I didn't mind Andromeda. If Andromeda was a standalone game, if it was not in the Mass Effect universe, if it was just another a space sci-fi action RPG, I would have thought it would have been alright. But because they took the Mass Effect IP, almost turned it into toilet paper and wiped their ass with it, I was a little annoyed. I mean, after coming off the trilogy, which was fantastic, and then shooting off to another galaxy, a galaxy where they've spent 3 games developing this really sick lore. It was really deep, really rich. The lore was developed and iterated upon over 3 games, only to not be used for Andromeda. They went to a new universe that felt dead and empty because there were only 2 new alien races, and the ones that they had really pre-established had been turned into something they weren't. Like, we had a Krogan female for some reason as like the tech lead. It didn't make any sense for Krogans at all. So exit to main menu. Yes, please. Let's start a new game. Let's actually focus. Why shouldn't they try to go to a different galaxy? Well, they should, if they want to try to preserve what they have in the face of the Reapers. But the story was them leaving before they knew the Reapers were a thing. It was them leaving and not all of them arriving. It was the story not being cohesive or not making the trilogy matter at all. But anyway, we're here with Anthem. Let me focus and try to actually start a new game now, because I'm too busy gas bagging, because that's what you do on a live stream, right? I don't know what it's doing. It's still loading. All right. While it's loading, let's talk a bit about Anthem's development. Now, okay. Well, I guess we're not. Let's save that for when there's more loading screens. Like now. Anthem was developed by Ben Irving and Michael Gamble. They were kind of the faces of it. They did constant live streams with updates, and they were pretty active in the community, which meant, I mean, that gave us a lot of confidence. Mike Gamble has since moved on to start working on the next Mass Effect. He was actually pulled away to help finish up Veilguard. So Veilguard was not worked on by the people that worked on Anthem, at least not the team as a whole, which, I mean, that could be a positive and negative thing depending on how you look at it and how it released. But Michael Gamble, I believe, wasn't one of the reasons why Anthem failed. So I've got hopes for the next Mass Effect. I think because they've reduced the team to under 100 people, and it's more his team now, I think, rather than him being pulled a lot of different ways. So because he's able to kind of handcraft who he has working on this game, and it's a smaller team, more nimble, not bogged down by processes or what they should or shouldn't put in the game, I think maybe it might be a bit more, okay, yeah, this is me going back to an older character. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to jump back out. Main menu. You haven't played Veilguard, and you probably won't. If David Gator isn't involved, then it's not Dragon Age. I can agree with that. I mean, a lot of it was an action RPG with Dragon Age DNA, but it didn't feel like a Dragon Age game. If I went from Dragon Age Origins to Dragon Age Veilguard, it would feel like two completely different games. The only reason why it felt like it was a continuation is because of Inquisition. It felt like Inquisition 2. It did continue on from it. It did finish off Inquisition and the storyline that it started. But that felt like its own self-contained thing. Dragon Age Origins was almost completely disregarded, which I thought was shit, because Dragon Age Origins was the best Dragon Age. And I'm not debating that. I'm not taking any questions, no notes, nothing. It was the best Dragon Age, hands down. The only thing it wasn't the best was maybe the combat system that hasn't aged very well. But if they just iterated on that, it would have been great. Alright. So, I need to go new pilot. That's the one thing I didn't do each time. Alright, so create new pilot. Alright, we got there. Dan's just being an idiot. I actually think the world that they created for Anthem was really good. It was big, it was beautiful. There was a lot they could have done with it. But instead of making this either another Destiny or making it another Mass Effect, they tried to squash them together like some kind of weird Frankenstein amalgamation. And like I mentioned before, if you're playing with friends, you don't have time to listen to a rich story. If you're listening to a rich story, you don't have time to play with friends. And playing this with friends was a lot better than not playing with friends. It was designed to be. But for those who wanted a single player experience, they just got kind of robbed. All right, English. Yes. Confirm and continue. Yep, Anthem was sent out to die, buddy. It was sent out to the pasture and went the way of Old Yeller. Someone shot it. Someone took it out the back and dismantled it. And I actually think that I am partly to blame, because like I said, I was one of the handful of people who played Anthem 2.0, their comeback for Anthem. It was only made a year or so after Anthem actually released, and they thought that this might be their way of bringing it back and getting people back on board. And I was the first and one of the only ones there to actually say it's not good enough. And after that, they didn't release 2.0. So I might be one of the reasons, and this actually does haunt me a little bit, one of the reasons why Anthem didn't continue, because they probably either thought it's not worth it, or we don't have the manpower, or we don't want to waste more time on this. I don't know what the reason was. I wasn't talked to about it, but I definitely wasn't happy with it, and I let them know. And then we didn't see 2.0 being released, so I don't know what happened between that stage, but I'm guessing it wasn't good.
The gods who built it vanished, leaving behind their instruments that aimlessly reshaped the land.
Can you all hear this okay?
An unknowable force we call the Anthem of Creation. But the Anthem refuses to be controlled. To survive,
I honestly think if they didn't try to make a new IP, if they just made Mass Effect multiplayer, it would have taken them less development time, less concepting, all of that,
today, it falls to a
and they would have
dedicated
made a better
heroes to
game.
face the chaos.
Because people to this day still play Mass Effect 3. It's the only reason why they don't play the Legendary Edition is because that doesn't have the multiplayer aspect to it. So people still have, you know, the hard copies of Mass Effect 3 just so they can play the multiplayer. Alright, let's get past this crap. Who cares? If they just made Mass Effect multiplayer and made it so you had suits like this or whatever, or even just gave you tons more content and let you play with friends. Yeah, made you N7 agents or something.
Freelancer, we're a long way from the cenotaph, and the storm is worse than we thought.
Well, it all wasn't false advertising. What they were advertising was sort of correct. Like, it was almost like a bait and switch, like they did with the journalists, like I just mentioned. All the journalists that got to play the game, they got to play a nice section of the game that was really curated, and it was awesome. Like when we played it, they actually sent me to Japan with G-Man Lives. If you've heard of him, he's a really big games reviewer based in Sydney. They sent me and him to Japan to play this game, along with some other streamers and content creators from different parts of the world. And there was, you know, IGN there and everyone. And when we played the game, it was really good. Like, it was like almost like the starting of the game, right? Like you got these javelins that you could play around with. You had tons of weapons and abilities and stuff. So we were under the impression that the game was rich and full of content and really well made. So when we went ahead with all the previews, and you know, everyone did it. You can go back and look at GameSpot, IGN, all those previews. Everyone was super positive about the game because that's what we were shown. So they gave us the bait. And then when we got the product, they switched it and they showed us that they had almost nothing past the midsection of the game. And that was the problem. There was no content. Alright, we get our first Javelin. I mean, that's what's most disappointing about this, is because it looks good, it plays good, it just didn't have the support. If it had the support, if Bioware got, you know, the right people back in their team and they didn't have all this noise from all the crap. How do I put this? If you get a trolley at a shopping center while you're going grocery shopping, and one of the wheels is squeaky, one of the wheels doesn't align with the rest of the wheels, the whole trolley is fucked up. The whole trolley. One squeaky wheel screws the whole thing up. So that's what I felt happened to Bioware. They got a bunch of squeaky wheels in there, and the whole company struggled. But now I hope they got rid of those squeaky wheels, that Michael Gamble has curated his team. And if so, the next Mass Effect, which I will be closely attached to. Let's go male voice or female? Female voice or male voice? What do you think? Male or female? Let's go male. I'm hoping it'll be good.
Hey, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. That was a bad fall. How's your head? You remember the mission?
But you have to check the groceries out yourself, like in Coles.
You're in a category.
Duty is saying that because he knows that I have been bitching about Coles lately, because they cut back all of their staff, so you have to check out a full trolley of groceries yourself, which is a nightmare. Right, so we can't fly just yet. We can just run and jump.
He's up and heading your way.
How's it going back there? What's your ETA?
So when we were previewing it, we got to play this little tutorial at the start,
Be right back.
and it was very promising. This little bit here was very promising. So you could fire a missile, throw a grenade, and melee. Okay.
Good. Now you have partial boosters.
Space twice if you want to double jump. Yes, I do. So this is my favorite suit, the original here, because it was the most like playing Iron Man. As you can see with my hat here, I am a bit of an Iron Man fan. I know he's very basic, but I grew up in the 90s with Iron Man playing before school. the original cartoon, as well as X-Men.
Team update. This is not going well. Many casualties. Freelancers down. Ciphers in comas. From hearing
See,
the anthem,
pretty damn good. Like, it still holds up.
so far, but I can hear it too.
Can't shoot those bastards.
Hey, Miller. I found your Titan. This Javelin was creating them by the handful. Faye, you still there?
Yes, you got down freelancers ahead, sending distress signals. They're the ones
I think
from
they should have
Strider
just stuck
2.
with
Their jackets need repair.
single
Get
player,
them moving.
honestly, and then just made a dedicated multiplayer game similar to what they did with Mass Effect 3. Just make you join lobbies, you can fight against the computer, fight against AI, upgrade your character, get more gear, get more skills, get more levels.
Gonna try.
That would have been a way to do it, I think. How is this guy not dead? Giant spiked scorpion looking motherfucker just popped up from under him,
Hang tight.
gave him an enema.
Your Cypher's in a coma. I took care of all three
Okay,
freelancers.
grenade time.
What next?
Push on and join your team.
How long? Which way? I've got Titan on the bridge above. Leave it. We've got one up here too.
They're all over the place.
I'll need to go around.
See, they make you, they nailed making you feel like a badass. Like, I'm just ripping through these scorpions like they're nothing, right?
Blasted the wall. Give me a shortcut.
That was the fantasy, and they knew it. BioWare know the fantasy is about feeling powerful. That's why Shepard was a complete and utter badass. There is no questioning it. Like, the strongest dude in the universe, right?
The anthem
Mass Effect 1
wants to consume you.
was you becoming the first human Spectre. The first
Oh, sorry. The whole
Badass.
team from Strider 3 is gone.
officially a badass of humanity.
Strider 4 team is in retreat if they
And
make
then
it. Mission seems
you
doomed.
are so damn important. Someone spends billions to rebuild you in 2. You go on a suicide mission and recruit
Swear.
It's all wrong.
the biggest badasses in the galaxy,
Retreat.
and they follow you because you're an even bigger badass. And you go into the jaws of hell and you survive. Then, in 3, you unite whole civilizations to fight against universe-ending reapers that, for all intents and purposes, have never been stopped before. And you almost single-handedly stop them. If that's not a power fantasy, I don't know what is.
Faye's calling a retreat.
Yet, the people they hired and now subsequently fired were under the impression that everybody's got parts of good in them, and not everyone needs to be badass to be loved, and there doesn't need to be a you know what I'm getting at. They got in the wrong people that don't get it. They just don't get it. And if you play Veilguard, you'd understand.
Get back to the Strider. This mission is over.
I can do it.
I don't know what's going on. I should have been paying attention.
Silence the center.
Big dude stumped another dude.
Barely holding it together.
Right.
Retreat isn't an option. Not now.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they would play Anthem if it was single player only. And I have to agree, I would have enjoyed it more if it was. Like I said, it either had to be single player only or pure multiplayer with none of the story. You can't play a game like this with story. Like, are your friends going to be waiting around while these guys talk to each other? No, you're going to be chatting with each other. You're going to be like,
Till I get killed.
check him out, he's got big balls on him or something. You know, you're going to be talking shit. You're going to be like, look, it's your mum.
Where'd that come from? Go. Faye, we're coming back. It beat us, Halleck. We need to regroup. Can't beat us. Rookie, don't you dare pull me out of here.
So what now? Like it fades to black. We've got more story to get through before we can group up with friends. So you're almost forced into the single player aspect of it, right? But it's a multiplayer game. The single player part didn't really work with it.
More than friends and comrades. We lost the faith of the people we protect.
Oh, in regards to Shepard coming back with Mass Effect, I'm gonna tell you straight up, guys, he is not coming back.
The few who remain carried on.
You have to trust me on that. He's not coming back. He had the perfect ending. He saved the universe. Yes, if you get the most war assets in the destroy ending, he does take a breath. But that's to leave it open, you know, to think that maybe he got a happy end ever after. His story is done. He's saved the universe. Now we've got to start with a new story set in the far future. And all the evidence points to that. And I've made videos on it before. I am 100% certain he is not returning. I'm 100% certain that the next game will have a different protagonist and will be set in the far future. It's the only way forward. You've got to think about it this way as well, and this is a major point. Would you want anyone to ruin Shepard's legacy? Let's just say the game was terrible. The next game is terrible. Would you want it to be Mass Effect 4? Shepard popping out of the rubble and Sabbatarians attacking Earth or something like that, and it's a really shit game, and then his whole legacy is just ruined. Like, it wasn't a nice, neat little package. They opened old wounds. They did a Star Wars, you know? They took the characters we loved and killed them off or something.
Jungle's full of useful stuff.
Access the sensor.
Might come in handy.
This is another thing I disliked about it. Because they had to do it as a multiplayer thing, I just got 3 common items. I can't actually see what they are. If I press I, nothing happens, obviously, because there's still a tutorial, but you're not able to see what you just got. You're not able to equip what you just got, so you're not able to try it out while you're playing on the fly. And also, the coolest thing about the game was flying around, but you have a little bar at the bottom of my crosshairs.
I'm going into the ravine.
That's kind of like your heat, and you can only fly for a certain amount of time, which is a little weird. But if you get wet...
Oh, there's the first sensor. I need you to access it.
If you get wet, it cools you down.
Stick close so I can get a reading on the shaper energy.
Okay.
Hang on. I'm detecting movement. Looks like scorpions.
Another cool thing about Anthem was the priming and the detonating aspect to it. So you could prime an enemy, and then your friend could use their ability to detonate the enemy. And you get a cool little explosion. But they kind of started with Mass Effect 2, but it wasn't really in depth in 2. And then they kind of finished with Andromeda. And Andromeda did it the best, in my opinion. The priming and detonating aspect. The only problem with Andromeda is they only let you equip a certain amount of skills, which I thought was a mistake.
It's mostly
Mistake. Alright, where we go?
It's detecting something. Yeah, no sign of shaper energy. Head to the next sensor.
See, this feels cool, right? Like flying around, going through waterfalls, cooling yourself down, being able to fly a bit more because you're wet.
You're coming up on the next sensor. Check it out for me, will you?
Mass Effect 5. I call it Mass Effect 4. I know a lot of people like to call it 5, but they did come out and say that, at least while they were promoting Andromeda, that it's a disservice to the game to call it Mass Effect 4. Andromeda was its own thing because it was set outside of the Mass Effect galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. So Andromeda is its own thing, just like New Vegas was its own thing. It was Fallout 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, and then Fallout 4. It wasn't Fallout 5. That's why I feel like Mass Effect the next Mass Effect, if it's set within the same galaxy in the future, it'll be Mass Effect 4. However, I think they will give it another name, honestly. But when it comes to Shepard, I think his legacy will be talked about. I think the best thing they can do is give you a museum or a place you can visit, like a Shepard memorial. It can probably be on a cruise like they did with the original series. Have a Shepard memorial there. And you go and visit it and you can see all the choices that you made in the previous trilogy. That's probably the best way of doing it, and then they don't need to make 3 entirely different games based on the choices that you made at the end of 3, which would be functionally impossible for a team to do.
Lost sensors nearby. With wyverns circling. I see them.
But because it's set in the far future, well, because I'm assuming it's set in the far future, it means that a lot of the choices that you made come out in the wash, right? For example, if you chose to destroy the Reapers, civilization will advance based on its own merit. If you choose to control the Reapers, eventually Reaper tech is going to be outdated. Reapers, you know, mouse button 4 to dodge. Okay, cool. Reapers are eventually going to be old tech. The only reason they were so advanced is because they never allowed organics to advance beyond their current tech, right? Because 10,000 years is not far enough to go beyond the Reapers' technology. But I mean, humanity wiped the Reapers out, or Shepard wiped the Reapers out, so technology is pretty close, right? It's not so far advanced, but if you go 600 years in the future of that, being able to study Reaper tech, you're probably going to be far more advanced. And the same goes with synthesis. I always get that word wrong. If you merge with technology, that's just naturally where organics will go, right? That's where we're going now. I mean, eventually we're going to have machine parts. It's just the way of the future. I mean, if our heart gives out, we're going to have a way to replace it with a synthetic heart. That's already a thing. If we want better eyesight, if soldiers want better eyesight, they're probably just going to rip their eyes out and put, you know, it's going to be like Cyberpunk, right? So eventually, what am I going to do here? Sorry. Eventually, that is another avenue that comes out in the wash with simply time, right? Eventually, that's going to be what happens to us if you pick synthesis or not. So all 3 of the endings, I mean, obviously the ending where you let the Reapers harvest you, that's not included. But all 3 of those other endings, no matter what path you chose, will eventually lead to the same place. So that is, I think, one way of them making it so the next Mass Effect will not need to have all these diverging paths depending on the choice you made at the end of 3. It will simply be something mentioned in passing by Liara or by Grunt, or one of the ones that can survive to that age. Where's the last echo? And probably mention it like a memorial area for Shepard or something, right?
Aha! That did it. Grid.
Yeah, I could see a memorial in London. That would make sense too, considering that's where the final push was staged. Though I think they would have reclaimed the Citadel. So I think it's very likely that where Shepard talked to the Catalyst might be... Can I go through it? No. Talk to the Catalyst might actually be a little museum area. Or even just somewhere on the Citadel. But the Citadel for sure is... the Citadel's hovering over Earth. So you're going to tell me that in the future, the Citadel isn't still parked over Earth. Basically what that means is, can I go through this? Or does that hurt me? Oh, it hurts me. Alright.
Javelin overloaded. Hang on. I'll reset.
Yeah, so I was meant to dodge those, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, you mean to tell me that humanity hasn't seized control of the Citadel and are now in, you know, now in a position of power, at least in some way.
Oi, watch it! I've lost flight control. I'm trying to reset. Hang on.
Oh,
Oh, good. It's just
see, this is all pretty cool, right? Like, this is the cool little tutorial. If this was all single player, it would have been way better.
Big one too. You'll need to silence
But
it.
obviously, as multiplayer, it just doesn't
Some
work.
echoes have shaken loose. Find them and get them back in place.
Echoes again. Oh, this is another thing I didn't like. It was like this collection aspect to it. Yeah, they wanted to force you to like fly around and stuff, but when you're doing this in multiplayer, it's just like a nothing happens kind of situation. You just kind of, okay, I'll go up and get this thing.
Keep the echoes coming and
Your other mates are going off and doing the same thing, and it kind of breaks up
What's
the
relic
fun.
doing? I can't tell, but the energy pocket's getting bigger. Something's forming in there. What is it? I mean, anything is possible. Look at the waterfalls. They're going backwards.
Does this hurt? No, it's not hurting being in here. Okay.
Just think. The Anthem's being harnessed in there. Pure creation. Something totally new for
Got one more left.
Lay that on the shapers.
One more,
Still
and
amazing.
then we can fight something. Where is it? Over there. See, I'm using a keyboard and mouse to fly. And yes, it was good on console, obviously, but the fact that you can fly around with a keyboard and mouse and it feel pretty comfortable was an achievement, for sure. Like, this was an achievement.
There, last echo. You did it. That should silence it.
We did need an Anthem 2.0, but the one that they made wasn't so good, unfortunately.
It didn't hold.
We needed a No Man's Sky.
It's starting. You've got
You know, we needed them to continue to work on it, to not stop, to not give up, keep adding content. And then after 1 or 2 years, when you return to it, you'll be blown away by how much is actually there. I think that's what we needed. But that's a lot to ask from them, you know. I'm happy if we get another Mass Effect instead of them continuing with this. Actually, they could have just got an entirely different team like they did with the Old Republic. If they just had a multiplayer team working on this, and they just scrapped the whole it needs a storyline idea, and just focused entirely on making this just a really good co-op experience. With none of the crap, just add more items, add more missions, add more javelins. And they just kept it going, and they just made their money with their microtransactions. It probably could have been really good.
How many teeth? Size is the real problem. What's that mean? Large.
But like I said, they needed to pick a lane. They needed to go all single player or all multiplayer. Daily weak point challenge completed. I'm guessing that's because I shoot them in the head. Something you should be doing anyway. I'll get the last one. Yeah, look, I'm excited for Exodus. I'm just concerned now because they got rid of James Olin, which is like the main reason I was interested in the game. So I actually went to LA recently to check out Exodus. The problem is they didn't actually show us any of the game. They just let us see the trailer, so it almost felt like there was not really any point sending us over there. But the trailer looks cool. They gave me the the RPG handbook, they gave me the encyclopedia, and all the lore that they've built around Exodus looks really cool. Like, I've read the book now, Exodus by James Hamilton. No, not James. I was thinking James Owen. Peter Hamilton, sorry. I've read the book. The book is cool. The lore is really cool. I like the idea that you can never travel faster than light speed, like you kind of can in Mass Effect. And the time dilation is the thing, because it means that if you leave people behind, there's going to be some real consequences. But like I've been saying to the devs, I want to see tangible results of that time dilation aspect. I want to see that in gameplay. I want to see what happens with that. Until I see that, I'm not completely sold yet, because there's a lot of big talk but not any evidence yet. Anyway, this is Anthem. We've started. At this point now, I think you can join on your friends. You couldn't until this point, so it's like, imagine you three of your mates, you bought this game together and you're like, let's jump in and play. You can't. You can't yet. You're like, what's going on? When can we play together? Not for a while, buddy. Yeah, you got the book Archimedes Engine as well. Yeah, it's good. It just, Archimedes Engine takes a little bit to get into. It's a huge book. It's a big investment, time-wise. You can listen to it as well. There is a spoken version. I'm not sure how good the voice actor is, but you can listen to it if you want the audio book. It's pretty good. Like, I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't think it's going to have much to do with the game, because it's set in a different area of the cluster. But we'll see. Weren't the council races already at the Citadel for thousands of years? In that scope, 600 years isn't that much. You've got to see it as an explosion, like a technology explosion, like the digital age with humanity. How with new things that have come up, tech just explodes around that. So the fact that we defeated the Reapers, well, say it like we defeated it, I mean Shepard defeated it. The fact that Shepard defeated the Reapers gives the remaining organics a way to advance their technology very, very quickly. I mean, you just need to study what you've just killed. And there's no indoctrination anymore, because the catalyst has been essentially taken out. Alright, so we get Javelin level 2. Alliance tier 2. Okay. So these are all rewards and medals for how good I did in this mission, but this mission you can only play on your own, so it's kind of pointless. So these are the weapons that we got. It would have been nice to be able to test them out, but you only get to see what you get at the end, like I mentioned. So be nice to have a DPS stat on it, but they've just put power as in, like, this is what we think its power is. Okay, exit. Yeah. If you're going out of the country, it is a good read. Like I said, it takes a bit to get into it. It really does. But if you like sci-fi, like high sci-fi, and you like Peter Hamilton, it's a good read. He's a good writer. Sometimes I had to reread sections though, because something would fly over my head, but it was overall an enjoyable experience. I just hope the game is good. I'm hearing conflicting opinions. I'm hearing rumors that it's, that I don't want to feed into. But I hope it's good. I haven't had a chance to play it yet myself. And I don't think anyone has. I don't think anyone outside of the development team have had a chance to play it. Development team / the agencies that manage the marketing. So I've talked to a few people that have played it and they said they enjoyed it. But I've also talked to people who said something's gone wrong, so I don't know. I think it's all rumors and speculation right now. So this is something else that doesn't matter at all, what you look like. So why does it matter what I look like if I'm in a Javelin suit the entire time? Like, why does this matter? This is a Bioware, this is Bioware DNA in a game that didn't need it. It's almost like they had to put character creation in, right? Like, I don't care. Yeah, start playing. It's almost like they had to put character creation in and then they put a shitty one in. So it's like, it's not a good character creator and it's not a needed character creator, but we have to put something in, so let's just put something like that in. It just it doesn't feel good.
Tarsis, the last stop on the bastion.
And you're not even third person, you're first person when you're walking around this town, right? So you can't even see your character.
So, another day, another disaster averted.
What have you done this time?
Nothing. My armor's fine. Probably. I hope.
Welcome home.
Okay, so now I need to do missions inside a hub,
No, not wrong. More like,
which would be fine
drop on by whenever.
if it was single player. But right now I need to go, okay, hold on mates, I need to go and do this mission. Just wait for me. Like, who's gonna wait? They're gonna be like, dude, come on, let's play.
Big job, yes?
And they had developing this, they had to have known, right?
You see what I mean?
They had to have known
You picked up on
when they
it,
were
right?
testing it with each other that there's a bit of that, right? Unless they...
All readings fall within acceptable tolerances.
You gotta look past the numbers for once in your life. Something is off. The connection is a bit fuzzy.
How do you quantify fuzzy?
You don't quantify fuzzy. You don't
How do you
measure it, don't
quantify
count it,
fuzzy?
It's nothing like that. It's a feeling.
Everything okay here, Owen?
Alright,
Yeah, well, on your
partner.
last mission, I noticed that the
Keep
cyber
on
chair
rolling,
was
baby.
giving off some very
You know
strange
what time
feedback.
it is.
All readings fall within acceptable tolerances.
Well, it's your call, but
So there's a
if you
space
ignore it,
nun
something goes
and
wrong.
I will
like
find an arcanist and perform
Star-Lord
full
here.
protocol inspection on this unit.
Yep. See, I mean, it's got makings of Bioware, right?
No.
Why are you always stirring up trouble?
It's
What are you
cheeky,
talking about?
it's
I've
playful.
just done her a massive favor. You've got no idea how boring it is being a Fort Cipher. She does not get to work with a freelancer. She does not get to see the world through the eyes.
I'm
of
actually
the-
excited
You know what
for
she gets to do?
for Divinity.
She gets to
I'm gonna be honest.
relay
Our,
official messages
and
back and forth
I'm
with
also
the
excited
ciphers at the
for
capital, day
the
after
Expanse
day
as well.
after
The
day.
Expanse should be good.
Not everyone's
Just
cut
based
out
on
to
it,
be a freelancer.
just based on looking at the pictures and
But
the brief
have to
bits of
admit,
gameplay that they've
that
shown.
last mission would have gone better with a partner.
I have a partner. You.
This guy looks like he wants to
Javelin
kiss
pilot
us.
Cipher.
That is not what I meant. Look, if I had a suit of my own,
Who gets
I could
that
be out
close
there
when
in
they're
the field
talking to
with you.
someone?
Hold down your
Are you guys ever this
before
close,
training, you'll get
this
your
close
chance,
to
I
someone
promise.
when you're talking to them? It just feels weird, right? I don't think there's a culture in the world that gets that close while they're talking to someone.
Job board is empty.
We'll figure something out. We always do.
Yeah. Do you ever regret missing
Yeah,
out on the
I don't mind this guy. I don't mind Owen. I think he's one of my favorite characters when I did play this game.
Contracts would just fall into their laps. Everywhere they went, they were given respect. And free sandwiches.
Free sandwiches.
Yeah, I haven't had my lunch yet. I'm starving. We're on a tight budget here.
Budget has room for sandwiches.
You're probably
Can I
right.
skip this?
You know what? Why don't you head over to the forge?
I can actually skip it. Okay, cool. Meeting Owen. Now you can explore. So I can go around and add things to the Codex. The Codex is not as good as even Mass Effect 1's Codex. Do you guys remember Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3's codexes, right? The first Mass Effect 1 had this really good voice actor. I think he was actually all the way through, all to the third, where when you clicked on any of the codex entries, he would narrate them for you and it would feel super professional. Like, this guy was like, I don't even know how to explain it. What's the word for his voice? Somber? No. I can't even find the word for it, but if he was narrating books for us to listen to, you would be like, oh, this guy knows his shit, right? Like he had that voice of authority. I think that's probably the right word, authority. A very authoritarian voice. But anyway, there's nothing here like that. Oh, let me turn the volume up. Nope, nothing. Just read it. Just read it. That's it. These are the little bits of love that the game was lacking, I think. But they were Russian. We do know that. The Russian. They were rushing. So monthly trials. So we had challenges, monthly challenges. Daily, weekly, and monthly. You get Masterwork Ember you can use to make Masterwork gear. So, the bronze challenge is complete Path to Glory challenges before the time runs out. Oh, they're all that. Okay. Then you got faction stuff. Then you have more faction stuff, defeat scars, do the weak points, which you just did, melee. Okay. Okay. So these are all the trials here. Then we have more Codex stuff. So we can explore around, find Codex entries. It really doesn't fucking matter at all, right? Doesn't matter. The Codexes didn't matter in Mass Effect, right? But you felt like listening to them or reading them gave you insight to the universe because, you know, you go to see the Citadel the first time and there's a giant floating jellyfish. You know, you're interested, you get drawn in. But here it's just a crappy city with people standing, and that's it. That's what you get in Anthem. It's not as interesting, story-wise at least, or narratively. It's not as interesting. So tell me why we should care. Why should we care to listen to? Well, not even listen, just to see. This would have been a perfect moment to say the Interceptor, created as a scout suit to explore. Well, you know what I mean? Like, that would have been a perfect moment, but no, we didn't get that. Okay. Can salvage or store weapons. So we have the Defender equipped, but we can equip. Can we not equip that? Ooh, Light of the Legion. Maybe we should equip that. I think we got that because of the collector's edition or whatever version I have. Okay. Duty review says, unless it's me and you, baby. What's me and you? What are we doing? I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Oh, you can't jump as well, so you have to. Yeah.
Owen, you need something?
What are you talking about? I just got a message from you saying to meet you at the forge.
I didn't send any.
I could listen to that Codex guy narrate a phone book as well, Annihilus. That's a really good point.
Private. My name is Tessa.
If you're into Warhammer 40k, they made Rogue Trader, which is really good. Rogue Trader is really good.
Well, you make a hell of an entrance, I'll give you that.
I have a contract for you, freelancer.
I'd like to know.
It's a blonde girl in a Bioware game, therefore you cannot romance her, right? That's generally the rule of thumb. There is no blonde girls you can romance in all of the games.
About any job you can get these days.
What's the job?
An Arcanist has gone missing.
Missing? I thought Arcanists just hung out in labs studying Shaker relics.
Matthias Sumner was investigating some relics at a ruin near the fort. I need you to find him and bring him back home safe.
If he's still alive.
Should we just give this?
Knows more about the
Like, you guys can watch like the full movie videos on YouTube where they like put together all of the story, if you really want to see all of that. So melee slot unlocked. Okay. Not that that matters at all. All right, here we go.
Let's get this Javelin ready to go.
So, this was cool. So we've equipped the Fist of the Mountain. So we change our launcher, our missile launcher, to have a combo effect of hitting an enemy has a 25% chance to detonate in a large force explosion. It simply does more damage than what was there before, I think. It's also got all the modifiers below it. Okay. Weapons, we had the Defender, but let's upgrade it to the Light of the Legion. I don't know if that's much better. It says power 46, so it is gotta be, right? We can change our melee weapon. Can't do any of these components yet. We're all locked. Weapons, grenade. All right. No grenades yet. Okay. Appearance. Now this, I think, was one of the coolest things. You could customize your armor, but they spent so much time on this feature because, of course, they put a lot of it behind a paywall, right? You could, yes, get the currency to I got the N7, of course. Why would you get the N7? You gotta get the N7 logo. Like, I mean, come on. But you could change the material, you could change the color, and I thought it really lent itself well to a potential Destiny killer, almost. Like, if you let everyone customize their own armor, really cool things, and then it's just like lots of multiplayer. Oh, fuck, where do I actually change the color? Here. Okay. There we go. That'll do. That'll do, pig. Yeah, so if you could all have a really cool customized armor and you're playing against others and playing with others, against is another thing. They should have been multiplayer. 1 versus 1 versus 1. Maybe like a free-for-all, 4-player kind of mode. If all those things were there in place, this could have been something big. All right, forge map. Yep. Exit. All right, cool. Let's play. I want to play a mission that's taken 40 freaking minutes, and I've been skipping through it just to get into the actual game. Hey, Dantix, you were promoting Outer Worlds before. Outer Worlds 2. Not Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds, I played because I enjoyed it. Like, you gotta see it my way, right? I like space RPGs. That's half my channel. Like, I still talk about Mass Effect, and that's 10 years old. Mass Effect 3. More than 10 years old. Right, Lost Arcanist, change mission. What do we do here? Do we just hit yes? Here we go. Okay, can we just start? Freeplay. Okay, that's just Freeplay. Okay, track mission. Okay. All right, here we go. That's what we're gonna do. All right. It was to get your mates in now. You can finally get your squad in, right? Let's go public. So I can't see why we can't make this no servers, right? Like, you can just play local co-op. There's got to be a way to change. Maybe the way that the game is programmed, they can't separate the servers aspect from it, right? Like, they can't make it so you can just play single player or local co-op. Once the server's shut down, we can't play this anymore. At least that's what they say. Which doesn't seem right to me. I thought Cora Harper, she's not natural blonde, dude. She's a brunette. Cora Harper's, don't get me wrong, she's attractive. I mean, there's one part of her that's you know, Barry White. Hugh Barry White. But she's kind of annoying to me. She goes on and on about Asari friggin' training and oh my god, just shut up. I think all of Andromeda, I didn't have any favorite characters except maybe Drax. Drax was pretty cool. But I mean, he's an old Krogan, and any Krogan that lives to old age has got to be badass, right? So that's the impression that I got, even though he didn't necessarily say it or act in a certain way that narratively showed us that he was badass. Besides him taking on the Ket kind of solo in a lot of scenes. Okay, I guess that counts. That counts. He was the only one though. Meeting Phoebe was the weirdest thing ever though. That Phoebe scene was horrible. I'm not surprised it was memed like crazy. If there's a will, there's a way. It's just networking logic, which can be hard but not impossible. But from their point, why would they? I assume it doesn't make money anymore. Yeah, exactly. From their point of view, they don't need to keep it going. But there's got to be someone out there, a benevolent modder that wants to keep the game alive, right? Like, it almost feels like if you let this die, do you let the same thing happen to other games? There are games right now that you can't play. It's impossible to play. You cannot buy the game. You cannot go online and play the game. There's no one hosting the game. Some games are just lost to time. It's almost like information is being lost. And I don't like the idea of that. I don't like the idea of losing memory, let alone...
Here we are, Freelancer. You ready to jump in?
Yes.
I am. Well then,
This looks slightly different. Did they change the map?
My contract is to locate an arcanist named Mathias.
They have changed the map. There must be seasonal maps. Like, this is like an autumn... At least to me it looks like autumn. Or fall, as Americans may call it. Fall. Does kind of look like it. Let's go through it. Thread the needle, huh? Oh, I didn't thread it very well. So, is it raining or snowing or something, or am I imagining that? Yeah, I'm imagining that.
The location Tassin gave us must be close. I'm detecting the cab's shortwave radio.
Not seeing anyone. Owen, anything?
Yeah, lots of broken equipment. Obviously Arcanist made, otherwise, no, nothing but the radio. And no Mathias. Oh, hang on. Detecting another radio. Same frequency.
Must be more than one camp. Let's follow that signal.
You do raise a good point. We were talking about badasses before, and you've said those are badasses, don't need to say it. And I think that is the subtlety that had been lost with a lot of, actually in a lot of games now. They have to scream on the top of their lungs that they're badass, metaphorically. And it doesn't work. It just doesn't. If you need to convince someone that you're something, then you're probably not that thing. Oopsies, forgot about being overheated.
The radio signal's getting stronger. Clearly, Mathias established more than one camp.
So if I press C, I can hover. Okay. Usually that's crouch. Okay, cool.
Arcanist? Yes. Mathias? No, he's not here.
Can you see what I'm saying though? Like it's
Help. Track him down.
it's taken a hell of a lot of time before I can actually do something, right? Like I'm not killing anything. There should be enemies already. I shouldn't be like looking on the map for something. Like this is I'm talking about from a purely like multiplayer aspect, right? Multiplayer wise, this is not fun, right? You want to be killing things already. Single player wise, this is fine.
That's where the signal is coming from. We can use it to help search for another camp. It'll take time.
Okay, get started.
Let's have a look at our ability as well.
Quiet out here.
It's like a blast now, like a instead of a missile. Pretty cool.
An ambush. The scars.
All right, our gun that we got is way too strong. And one hit killing these things.
Destroy any hives that pop up that can cut off reinforcements.
Okay, okay, okay.
Got it.
So these are scars? Yeah, scars. Yeah, so they're people in these little suits, right? It's like that scene in Iron Man 1 where he just like, he's against the friggin' tank and just blows it up and walks away, right? Like, these guys don't stand they don't stand a chance. What are they supposed to do?
Make sure you destroy any hives you see.
Ah, I meant to destroy this, alright.
Clear out
That's
these remaining
why.
scars. Radio signal. Still working on it.
Run away, buddy, run away!
Just fiddling with the radio signal at the next
How was
location.
that?
I understand. Just hurry up.
Of course, lots at stake, I know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
More hives.
He's talking about he doesn't want to talk about what could have been with this game. I completely agree. Alright, let's try throwing a grenade at it. Does it do any damage? No. Yeah, just shoot it.
That's the last of those horrible things. Now finish off the remaining scars.
Let's melee these guys. At least I get a daily quest done for meleeing, since they're so easy to kill. Hello, buddy. Slam? Yeah. Okay. You're not allowed to fly. Only I may fly. Did that guy die? He jumped up here somewhere and he just disappeared.
Well, I think I found another camp.
Okay, let's go. Hear anything else out of Matthias?
Nothing. Just lost the radio
Yeah, melee in a game like this is redundant. Like, they should have known. Like, what's the point?
Got a bunch of scars.
It's so, everything is so vast. It's not like you're up close or like... Oh, cool, I can do my... Was that my ultimate? Oh, I activated it by mistake, didn't I?
I don't know, but it's not a good sign.
Yeah, the game is not in close quarters.
Looks like they're using gates. I hate those. Very unfair.
I like how it didn't pause the game for that. Yet another side effect of being a multiplayer game. These guys shoot me? Something up there? Where is the last guy? Oh, okay, he's dead as well. I think enemies are just despawning.
Signal booster is working.
I'm heading up the stairs, hoping to find refuge. Scars in pursuit.
Continue to search for Matthias. Where are you, buddy? So imagine this, flying through these rings, right? Imagine this as a game mode. I won't beat a dead horse, but that was what Anthem 2.0 was going to be. They introduced a game mode where you can fly through rings. And you're going to do it fast enough. Kill things, fly through rings, do it fast enough. You get rewards. but no new rewards. Let's control our crash. So landed near where we were meant to go, but I didn't.
I'm not seeing our Arcanist. Owen, help me out.
He's not here. Wait, that's the radio we were following.
Shooting
The
feels
scars are
really
taking
good.
apart. We fixed that. Then we reached Matthias.
The skills feel kind of cool too. I can't obviously do any combos right now, but and the ultimate feels really good. Let's try it, shall we? You feel like Iron Man.
That seems to be the last of the scars. Let's fix that radio.
What needs to happen?
Get me into the access panel, I'll do the rest.
Okay, done.
Starting repairs.
Starting repairs. Thanks, Jarvis.
Oh, that doesn't look like a repair.
Would you just let me? Ah, damn it! Hang on, we've got company.
Can it be fixed?
Yes, of course. Just deal with the scars, I'll figure it out.
I'm terrible at first person shooting, right? I'm terrible at it. But I'm making this look fucking easy, right? Like, that's how good the combat was. So, the gameplay wasn't in question like it was good. It was definitely good, like we've mentioned a million times. I can tell you just from 5 minutes of playing this game that they had the makings of something that could have worked really well. Should I be meleeing these guys because of the daily quest?
Very serious.
Oh, there's someone that matters now. Weak points there. Obviously. I mean, it just reminds me of the Batarians with flamethrowers coming at you with a massive gas canister on their back. It's like screaming, shoot me.
Oh, the gates are closing. Looks like we scared them off. Let's take care of the rest and get back to the radio. Ha! Okay, I think I got it.
Sure.
Sweet. See, if I was playing this for the first time, I would be so excited to play this game. Like I'd be dreaming about it when I went to sleep.
I've got a location.
It seems really good at this point, right?
It works.
I mean, obviously besides the problems we just discussed before, where it's like hasn't picked its lane, single player and multiplayer, which is it?
Hang on. We're coming.
Matthias managed all these stairs to get up here with an army of scars at your heels. Great things are possible, I guess.
All right, what's everyone saying?
Matthias.
I'm actually sad about Monolith. Yes, them being, I mean, dissolved before they finished their Wonder Woman game. I think the whole point of, like, they started on that Wonder Woman game right at the peak of, or right just before the peak of the whole, like, really, what's the movement? What do we call the movement? The SWJ movement, when that whole thing started. That's when they started on the Wonder Woman game, so we know exactly what was happening there. They were trying to capitalize on it a little bit. And that's probably why the game didn't go anywhere, because instead of making a game that they wanted to make, they were trying to make the Nemesis system work with a Wonder Woman game, which does not make any sense. The only thing I can see in that universe that could possibly work with Nemesis system is the Lazarus pits resurrecting people. But how do you go from Shadow of War, which was, you know, you kill orcs and they come back with scars and missing limbs and taunting you, or yourself dying to one and then being promoted and being more powerful? How do you go from that to Wonder Woman? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what they should have done, the peak, that was right when Game of Thrones was getting big. when they started working on their next game. They should have just made a Game of Thrones game, right? That just works perfectly with it. There's literal resurrection and nemesises and people dying and coming back, and it would have been great with it. It would have fit what they've already made before, you know, this medieval kind of thing with a splash of fantasy.
All set. Time for a field test.
What's happening? Matthias?
It worked. Small trap, the scars walked right into it. I'll have to keep moving.
They defeat the scars, but I'm not exactly being overwhelmed here. I'm being kind of whelmed. I need to hunt them out myself. Get over here, you cunt. Oh, that's a bit of overkill. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Instead, I'll do that. Ah. Okay. There's a cooldown on your melee. So, melee, melee, melee. Okay, so a second cooldown on the melee attack, which is weird, because like if you get into melee, you should be rewarded for it. You should be doing much more damage. Come here, buddy.
Hive's taken care of. Now let's see to those scars.
You got it.
Let's see to those scars, Jarvis. Where are the rest of them? Ah, there they are.
Matthias,
Is that it?
an update.
I think so.
Stay ahead of them. I'm nearly there.
I haven't liked Assassin's Creed for, I'm gonna say since Black Flag, I think. I didn't kind of vibe with the direction they took it. I think a lot of Ubisoft games feel very samey. It feels like if you play one of them, you played them all.
Matthias has been busy.
And that's a really broad sweeping statement to make, but I think a lot of people will agree with me there. I think they need to mix up the formula. And I mean, the Expedition 33 thing, you can like the game or you can dislike the game, doesn't matter. But what you have to admit is that it does not feel like an Ubisoft game. And those were ex-Ubisoft staff. So it's not like the talent isn't there. It's that whatever processes Ubisoft have in place, they need to be dismantled.
Stay put. I'll keep them
For them to make good games again, they need to restart. They need to hit the restart button. And unfortunately, unless something drastic happens and a lot of people lose their jobs, I don't think that's happening. It's a long mission, actually.
Scars have too many ways to add to their numbers if needed.
I haven't struggled with ammo yet, but I remember that being a thing.
Be careful.
I'm trying.
Be careful. I'm trying.
How did you make them so mad, Matthias?
I don't know. Never seen them like this.
So,
Sorry. Have to keep moving.
Can't argue that. Close
I think
quarters.
something just fell off the wall there. My voice made Legion fell off the wall. My framed photo of Legion from aspect 2 and 3 just fell off the wall. Now, it fell off the wall not because this game is rumbling the walls too much. Fell off the wall because I'm choosing this moment to live stream. It's just the curse of live streaming. Something always goes wrong when you do it. I could have sworn there was a daily quest to do melee kills, and I've killed a lot of people in melee, and I haven't gotten anything, right? Oh, buddy, what do you want? Nothing. Nothing. Shoot that canister. See, these enemies were made for multiplayer, right? Like, you cannot fight them fairly. How do I heal? Do you guys remember how to heal? Is there a heal button? No. Ah, fuck. There. You have to get these things. That's how you heal. Alright, we're back. Alright. Where's the shield dude who is not very easy to kill in solo play? All his weak points are behind him. So what you do in multiplayer is you simply get one person to tank him, and the next person just shoots his weak points, and it's super easy, right? Which is another reason why single player isn't as good, because there's a lot of missions where it's unnecessarily harder because you're solo. Because you can get your friend to resurrect you in multiplayer. You can't do that in solo. And there's enemies like this. I knew that would hit the wall. It moves to the side.
Yes, he is done.
That's what happens when you're lazy. So yeah, when I say pick a lane, this is another example of what I meant. Like, it's clearly designed, even gameplay wise, for more than one person.
No active signals. I'll keep monitoring. You should check on Matthias.
What's he doing?
Matthias?
Here, right here. These scars.
So we're out here with an advanced suit, and he's out here with a t-shirt.
Nothing like this. I must tell Tassin. Please, I need to return to Fort Tarsis.
The exact date they're shutting down is the 12th of January, and that is probably PT. Because, you know, I think they're still based in Austin. Cool. So, that was the first mission. Well, the first real mission, besides the tutorial mission. And, yeah. How would I rate that? It was fun. It had a lot of combat. Did I see anything new? No. Did it introduce some strange mechanics? It started to. It had the enemy that you needed to shoot it from the back or the side to get its weak points, its gas canisters. But that is basically just a punishment for single player and a benefit for multiplayer, so you can team up on something, which I get. I understand it, but once again, that kind of thing would be better with a game purely dedicated to being multiplayer. They just shouldn't have worked on the single player aspect of it. People thought the servers had shut down already. Yeah, but they announced the servers being shut down, but they didn't really give a date, did they? So now we know for sure that it's January the 12th. I didn't mind this music, even though it's got that weird kind of part to it. It kind of gets annoying after a while. But, okay, so this section here, it should allow you to just not go back just skip forward and go on to the next part, right? But that's something they didn't get anything cool. Oh, a sticky grenade though. Can probably use that. So you go straight back to Fort Tarsis, or Tartarus, or whatever they want to call it. You have to go right back. What we would have liked when we were grouped up, Tarsis, sorry, was an option to let us simply continue the next mission and not have to do this crap. Because we're all grouped up, we're ready to go. We don't want to like load into the reward screen, then load into the mission, load into the fort, and then wander around, then load back into the welcome screen, and then load back into another mission. It was too much. We just wanted to keep playing. If they allowed us to do that, just to play the game, this would have been a good multiplayer game.
That trouble was unexpected.
You often hang around outside the walls like that?
Occupational hazard, but this was different. Something
so they decided to shut it down before Stop Killing Games goes anywhere, as expected. Weird how this game will now become a myth, all footage of it being final for decades, in best case, forever. Yeah.
I don't really know the whole story.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I'm against them killing games. Like, I don't want information to be lost in the ether and never being able to be accessed again. I think the best case scenario is we get another company picking this up and developing it further and making it a pure multiplayer game. That would be the best case, but that's the most sincerely unlikely thing to happen. But what is more likely to happen is someone jumps in the source code somehow. They figure out a way to make this able to be played as local co-op, or figure out a way to host servers and keep this game going. Otherwise, I think this is just the end for it, because they're not introducing more content, right?
The Dominion, the Sentinels, and the Freelancers would make their claim for Freemark that day. Each group heirs in their own right to the...
This would have been so much better as Mass Effect, right? Like, imagine this set in the Mass Effect universe. They didn't need to create all this new lore. I think they just wanted to make their own, franchise like Destiny. But if they... I keep repeating myself, but if they wanted to do that, they should have just made it pure multiplayer. It's almost like they were hamstrung by their IP. Not by their IP, by their reputation. They were hamstrung by the fact they were Bioware and they needed to make a narrative because everyone going into it expected it.
Or after that day, he came to take the city at any cost.
Yeah, I can't imagine the developers would be happy about watching this go down. Especially, just your average developer is a concept artist or something like that, that worked for years just making the game look the way it looks. And it wasn't successful, and it wasn't kept online because of decisions that you had no part of. Can you imagine being that person? He's got a flying suit, but for some reason he chose to jump down and get hurt like an idiot.
Did not hold. The Dominion poured in. Adams, with many freelancers, made their last stand outside the city walls.
These guys can fly, but they're... I don't get it. Fighting on the ground.
Stayed to help who she could. When
finally flies.
The doomed Sentinels fell back. Now I tell you that deep in the city, Johnny discovered what the Sentinels already knew. The Dominion didn't want to destroy Freemark. They wanted to capture an ancient Shaper relic that was protected deep inside the city. The Cenotaph.
Alright, I've had enough. I've had enough. Too much story, come on. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. This is a Mass Effect, man.
Dominion must be back for a reason.
I clearly have more intel to hunt down. Come and find me later.
Yeah, me too. I'll contact you when I have something.
I'll be on the...
So imagine all your mates waiting for you at this point. And now you gotta figure out what a faction system is.
Hey there. I figured you'd make your way to me soon enough. You're the new freelancer I've been hearing about.
Is his eyes too close together, or is that just me?
Oh, it's all good. The fact that anybody's talking about a freelancer is even better. Name's Prospero.
Yeah? Why's that?
You understand?
Hasn't been much of that.
Intolerable.
That's...
We need to fire it up. We both are.
Okay, I'll bite.
What I wanted to hear. You'll need to search for Ember out.
Will do.
Okay. You need to stop me walking to tell me that? Alright. So, what, I gotta speak to him again?
Hey, Prospero.
I know you got good news.
All the Ember you need.
What I wanted to hear. All right, then. Let's get to business and fire up the forge. It's time all these javelins around here got the tender loving care they deserve. Head on over to the forge, and you can start crafting. But don't forget, when you want to make a statement, maybe polish that javelin up with a nice coat of pain and thunder. Come see me.
So, you're the Thunder Merchant, huh?
Hey, the best freelancers always arrive with a bang. But first, they buy it from me. Don't be a stranger.
Finally could get at this. Why did we need to talk to it? Like, okay, when you're designing a quest, when you're designing a mission, you have to design everything from where you go, who you talk to, what the process of completing it is. And someone thought that walking up to this guy and talking to him and then having to talk to him again, clicking on him a second time, was a good idea. That was a good quest. Like, this is not the way to dole out missions.
I have another job for you.
I'm flattered, but I still don't really know you.
Old habit. I work for Corvus.
Skip.
Big trouble is
Skip.
Learn what else she...
I think we'll do one more mission and then I'll talk to you guys about what I'm thinking about the game and then what I will probably do for the video that I'm going to make. Okay, we can actually play the game now. I think we can. So, what's everyone's favorite suit or the Javelin that they played? Mine is the default, obviously, like I've mentioned, because it's the most Iron Man fantasy, but the Storm was pretty cool in that it was like a mage suit. I just didn't think the mage vibe worked with me. I didn't really like the fact that he's throwing fireballs and casting spells. I wanted missiles and explosions. Okay, incursion. No, we don't need to change mission. Let's just go there. Let's go... Is there a way to open it up to others? Seasonal, free play, change mission, track mission. These are my consumables. Obviously. Privacy settings. Public. Okay, so people could join. This is public right now. So I almost need to wait for people to join. That's unfortunate because it's probably not going to happen, right? Let's just wait a second and see if anyone joins. Interceptor. Annihilus says Interceptor. Is your name from Nihilus and you're just adding Annihilus to it, or it's Annihilus? Like, is it a Mass Effect themed name, or? Yeah, Alpha Wolf says Interceptor as well. Interceptor does seem like the most popular. It is a good javelin. The speed aspect of it made it very fun. You almost felt like a rogue, dashing around and sniping from a distance or getting in close and meleeing. It was pretty fun, especially because, I mean, the ultimate was like a whole melee thing. It was the only way to make melee viable, really. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Arclight. See you, man. No, it's my Sith Inquisitor from Star Wars, The Old Republic. I like the Knights of the Old Republic series. I never really got into the Old Republic. I think I got to almost the end of the game as a Sith warrior, but I never really finished it. And mostly because I felt like an MMO at that point. I know it's much better now, but I didn't like the grindy aspect to it. So it says it's matchmaking, but is it matchmaking? That's the question. I think it's just going to launch with me being alone. Honestly, I don't see many people playing Anthem 5-6 years after release with a month, less than a month to go before the servers close. So I don't have high hopes of matchmaking working out unless one of you guys jump in, but I don't expect any of you to download this game. How good is Anthem after all this time? Without repeating myself, because I've kind of gone on and on about it to the others that were here before you, it hasn't changed much. It is essentially the same bones as it always has been. They've added, you know, daily, weekly, monthly missions and some seasonal stuff. But overall, the package is exactly the same. If you were to play it now, you would see very little difference to what it was when it first launched. And that's unfortunate. I mean, this game could have been something great. If they just kept at it over these 5 years, it would be like Destiny, I think. It just needed more content. That's all it needed. If it had more content, the gameplay was fantastic, is fantastic. It feels really good. Even to this day, I'm enjoying playing it, piloting the javelins, shooting things, using the abilities. That all feels really good. But the narrative wasn't that good. But that can be offset by the fact that you add more missions and you don't make them narrative based. You make them, you know, you follow the same formula as Destiny. Just make raids and stuff, you know? That's basically what they did. They should have just gone harder on it. And I think, I mean, the way that the map looks like right now, I think this is a seasonal thing, because it used to just be all green when I was playing. But now it looks like autumn or fall. I don't know what that is. It's probably just Codex. Yeah, so this must be one of the seasonal events that's on, which is like whatever avatar, whatever they said. But yeah, essentially nothing has changed. I mean, it's the same gear, it's the same missions. It's very little reason to keep playing. I mean, I want to say there's a reason to jump in, but this doesn't seem like there is.
Still the same smugglers they've always been? Anything of value is fair game. Plus the usual rumors of secret hideouts in the area. They have to keep all that stuff somewhere.
Question is,
I'm just gonna ignore all these guys.
I hope Tassin's wrong about that.
Is there a reason to shoot them? I don't think there is. Just run. Go back to flying. Travel to the regulator camp.
Regulator camp should be coming up soon. Keep an eye out. We're skirting the edge of Scar territory.
Your golden retriever coming in and leaving is trying to tell you that maybe you should give up on this game. I forgot that these guys explode. Pretty funny actually. Oh, hello buddy. A melee? No.
Looks like we got dead regulators here. Owen, can you identify Tassin's agent?
Not seeing her. Could still be alive.
Okay.
Animals didn't kill these people. They were already
What's what I meant to do? Go this way. Here.
Oh, there's some kind of recording there.
Dominion have attacked the camp. I can't reach Tuss. I'm looking for the regulator hideout at these coordinates.
That was Tassin's agent.
I'll need to decrypt the coordinates and... Hang on, Scar's on top of you.
So, the way that I'm ripping through all these guys right now, right? Easily. You'd think they'd be able to hold the fort in the cinematic that we just saw before. They'd be able to hold it, right? Because it just had normal dudes coming at them with guns, right? These guys have grenades and missiles and ultimates, you know, that can pull down meteors if you're that storm suit. The only way to kill this guy quickly is to shoot those weak points, but like I said before, you can't really do it unless you have someone to distract him. So you need a second player at the very least. There you go.
Yep, got it. It's not far.
And I'm going to the hideout now. We can't wait.
Are you sure about this? Taking on the Dominion isn't like fighting a pack of wolven.
When evil people knock on your door, you don't hide.
I agree, more variety is good. I mean, it's almost like the repeated missions in a lot of cases, especially at the end game. Like early on, they did good in keeping it fresh, but it's very front loaded. Towards the end, you do just collect orbs non-stop, right? Like everything is just get the orbs, put these in. Lots of orb collecting and holding out. And I think also the kind of open world aspect to it kind of hurt them as well, because realistically what you're doing is you're loading into a mission and you're following a linear path throughout the mission. So the actual open world free explore section was a hindrance. They needed to make this open world, and then all you're doing in every single mission is just going through a different section of that open world. You don't see anything different. If they made it so it was like Mass Effect, where you travel to a different planet every time and you see different things.
What's happening? Yeah, I'm seeing that. You're in some kind of...
Or it's like drastically different, like a volcano area and then a snow area, for example. Like that kind of thing, right? Okay. And here's another example of bad design.
There's the problem that machine.
Flight is disabled, as you can see. The whole point of this game is to fucking fly around as Iron Man, right? But for some reason in this mission and other missions like it, you can't fly. It's a way of balancing the combat, because flying is such an advantage. Just let those things detonate on me. They don't really hurt me much.
Flight control's back. I'm pushing up.
Wait, so am I not meant to go in here?
No. I'm trying not to jump to conclusions.
Okay, I'm not meant to explore this thing. Or did I do it already? I must have done it already. Let's get out then. Alright, off we go. Just too busy talking. Bang!
And there we are. The Dominion. Yeah, and they've got Tassin's agents. Best.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying about Mass Effect, that it wasn't an open world game. It was handcrafted, designed. There was only open world sections, and those were only small parts of a planet.
I find that pain is no substitute for money. So let's negotiate.
The relics, not for sale.
Yep. Introducing a bad guy. Great, whatever. The bad guy was okay. Like, they did okay job with it. Like, I want to know more. But I mean, not memorable. Like, I don't even remember the bad guy's name right now. At the time when you're playing it, you're like, okay, cool. This guy's a bit of a dick. Let's kill him. But
It wasn't exciting. Just be careful.
maybe I should do my ult. I forgot you can do it while you're flying. Like that. It's kind of cool. It's like the Iron Man scene. These are just regular dudes. You're never gonna have a problem with them.
She didn't make it. But there's an archive here.
I see it. Looks damaged from the fight.
Maybe Tarsis can make sense of it.
Yeah,
This can't be for nothing.
I've definitely moved firmly into the camp that open world games have to be made a particular way to be good. Because if you just throw it in the open world just for the sake of it, like they did with Borderlands 4, he did say he always wanted it to be open world, but I don't think it works the same way. I prefer sections being handcrafted and almost linear. Yeah, you have choice within the direction you go and exploring sections of it, but just like if you think about Mass Effect 2 and their main missions, each section... Can I call this? Yeah. Each section has explorable paths, but you are generally following a path. That makes it so it can be handcrafted, the narrative doled out at the right times, the pacing is done correctly. If it's done like this, like a open world, everything feels very samey. The pacing is usually off because they've made this big world and they want you to get from this section to this section in one mission. And then in another mission, they want you to go from here to here to here. But they can't, like, squeeze the world to be shorter for the first mission and then expand it out to be longer when you travel horizontally one direction from where you were before. So they can't craft an open world to work in terms of pacing for every single mission. And you'll find some missions just tend to drag on, or some missions don't show you anything new or do anything new, and they feel very much like what you've already played.
I have the specs. I think I can override it.
And that is almost always because of the open world aspect to it. Because they can't handcraft what they need to make the mission feel good. So you will see in a lot of these open world games, they'll put you in an instance. And they put you in the instance not because it's easier. In fact, it's harder. They can just throw you in a section of the open world and put some enemies there, right? They put you in the instance because then they can control the narrative. They can control what you feel, how you feel it, when it's paced, when it's handed out. Like, you don't feel like the place is too open and you can't focus your attention. What do I do here? So hard to land that shot. It's not like Mario where you can control your fall. Once you're falling, you're falling.
Pretty serious looking too. Watch yourself.
Okay. Oh, grenade yet. Oh, what's killing me? What is killing me? Oh, I can't fly. Okay. Come on, man. All the sections you want to be able to fly. Can I hover?
Keep the area clear. We don't need anyone in the way.
Okay, so this is evidence that multiplayer, like a free-for-all, would have been possible in this game, right? Like, that's another Javelin. We could have fought other people's Javelins. Like a death match. It would have been great. It would have been a reason to show off your cool gear and stuff. It would have made the money. Oh my god, there's still people. Can you just get stuffed? So, what I want from you guys, if you can, since you're watching me play, and I really appreciate it, at the end of this mission, maybe in the comments, just leave me what you think about Anthem, like what your thoughts are, like your pros and cons. You don't have to write like an essay, but it's just good to know what everyone feels about it before I make my video on it, and before I do a bit more research into what's changed and so forth. It's just nice to get a finger on the pulse. What am I supposed to be doing here? There's someone else I'm meant to be killing?
Back in range.
Oh, I meant to just... Okay, I'm just meant to stand here. Alright. A lot of the missions in this seem to devolve into gathering orbs for someone and then returning him to a particular section, or a King of the Hill kind of mode. Yeah. Cool, 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 cool. Is that it?
I'm outside. I've got a signal we can track. Can't hide from this cipher.
You used to call me Prophet.
Too far. Dominion must have big plans for a guy like the
So they did the rings just because it when you're flying, it just makes it easier to know where you need to go, what the direction is, which I appreciate, because otherwise it'd be fairly difficult to know where you're going. But as a game mode, I don't think it would work. Just flying through this. And it didn't when I tried it.
Okay, you're coming up in it. Just ahead.
I took a bit of a gamble. I thought maybe I'd hit something if I went up high and did a melee attack. So we're seeing new enemies at least. So these turrets will absolutely rip through you. So it's almost a reason to go on the ground so you don't get ripped apart by the turrets. And that is one way of making it so you don't fly around, instead of just simply disabling flight like they did in the mission before. Just disabling flight, I feel, is a really lazy way of restricting you. They should have just put enemies like the turrets there that will rip you apart if you do decide to fly. Listen here, buddy. I ain't got time for you, scrubs. Get out of here. Get out of here. Can I fly around now? I can. No more. No more turrets. So this was both sci-fi and fantasy when you look at it, right? It's got frost hounds.
Hey, watch it! Another one of the Monitor's lieutenants.
Probably should have saved my ultimate for this lieutenant, huh? Alright, it's very clear that the weapon I have is not intended for this part of the game. Like, it's making it a bit too easy, right? Killed that lieutenant so quick.
Okay, it's over. Score one for the freelancers.
But that's, I mean, that's fine since I'm playing by myself in a game that is intended for multiple players.
Yes. Congratulations on walking straight into my trap.
Owen? Owen, what's happening?
I don't know. He's
Obviously more powerful than you. I think it's important to take a measure of one's adversary. And I find you lacking.
Yeah, ask your lieutenants how they feel. All right, you can't, because I put them down.
Freelancers boast of courage they never have. It's why they're extinct.
I'm alive and well, you son of a...
He's gone. Save your breath. You best head back to the fort. I'll let Tassa know we need to talk.
Interesting. Alright, so I think we'll leave it there. What do I think so far? I think that nothing has changed. What made Anthem fail would continue to make it fail now if it was released today in the state it currently is in. It failed because it had an identity crisis. It failed because it didn't know what it wanted to be. It wanted to be a single player game that also was a multiplayer. And that worked in Mass Effect 3 when it first released outside of the Legendary Edition, because multiplayer was a standalone thing. It was a mode you could opt into. In Anthem, you cannot opt out of the multiplayer game. As you saw, some of those enemies were designed with multiplayer in mind. They had weak points on their back, which made it so you needed to somehow get to the back of that enemy in order to dispatch them quickly. And you can't do that as a solo player when the enemy will turn and face you with a shield no matter how you walk around them. It is entirely designed to be played multiplayer. And that is just an example of one of the many that were built into the game to make it functionally work with multiple people. And another aspect is the fact that a lot of missions are a lot harder when you take out the fact that you can be resurrected. So if one of your friends go down, you can fly to them and resurrect them. At the end game, if you don't have that as an option, it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to win. If you go the hardest difficulty and the hardest missions, you can't functionally complete anything unless you have more people with you. So by that very statement, the game is a multiplayer game. But then they do things like put in a storyline and a narrative that takes you out of the gameplay in order to experience, and you experience it solo. Your friends are waiting for you. Frustrating, nice. Your friends are waiting for you to be ready to play again. So while you're listening to the narrative, they're chirping in your ear, they're saying things like, hurry up, you know, let me get my dick out of your mum's mouth, that kind of thing. How are you supposed to concentrate on the narrative when you've got a group of mates that might have a limited time? They might have kids, they might have jobs, whatever. That means that they have this limited window that they can play with you. You don't have time to waste listening to a Bioware game. Imagine playing Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 with 3 people next to you talking to you while you're trying to play. You will not be able to concentrate. So the takeaway from that is, and what I've explained before, is that this game had an identity crisis. Didn't know what it was. It wasn't a single player, it wasn't a multiplayer. It was them trying to squeeze them both together. And when you try to squeeze two things together that functionally don't work together, there's going to be pushback. It's like putting two magnets together. They just don't work. And that's what happened with this game. The other major problem is they could have focused one way or the other if they started making content for it, but they didn't. Their idea of content was to add seasonal stuff, like a Christmas theme over the open world, or like we've just saw before, like an autumn theme over the world, and give you different dailies and different monthlies and all that stuff, and give you different cosmetics. But they didn't give us new content. There was a severe lack of gear to differentiate the different javelins. There was a lack of missions to make it interesting and fun to continue to play with your friends, especially in the end game. And when they increased the difficulty, here was a major problem, is they didn't make it more mechanically difficult. They just made the enemies more spongy and made them hit harder. So when you're getting one or two shot by enemies in a game where you have to fly around and live out a power fantasy, you start feeling really weak. You start feeling like, I can't fly around, I've got to just stay behind cover in a game that's not a cover shooter. This isn't Mass Effect. So all of those things combined, I think, is why it failed. It didn't have an end game, it didn't have new content, it wasn't updated properly. It was a game that was split between two worlds. And that's why I think Anthem is in the state it is in, and that is why January the 12th, the servers are closing forever. The only way I think we can continue to play Anthem is if someone out there buys the IP and they improve the game or remaster the game and add a ton of content. I think the likelihood of that happening is the same as every single billionaire out there donating their cash to charity. I think the same chances are there. I think the other option is that benevolent modders somehow make it possible for us to play this game solo, privately, without needing to connect to the servers, the EA servers. Right now, you need to play on the EA launcher, which is god awful, right? Like anyone that plays the Legendary Edition still knows that they need to go through the launcher, which is horrible. So there needs to be some kind of separation of that, this game and that, and there needs to be some way to play privately, local co-op. And when there is that option, when there is that option, I think the game will stay alive, but it is shutting down before, like one of the members in the chat said, it's shutting down before the Keep Games Alive movement is really able to gain some legs. So this game might actually, I think this is the most likely scenario, it might actually disappear from the ether. We might not ever be able to play this game again. And if that happens, it's very sad, because even though all of those reasons I listed why it failed, it has all the positives. And the positives are the bones, the structure of the game lends itself well to more content. It has really good combat. It has really good controls. Even on a mouse and keyboard, you can fly around and control the javelins really well. And that's with the mouse and keyboard. Keyboards to this date don't have pressure sensitivity, which I think is a mistake. I don't know why no keyboards out there don't have pressure sensitivity. But if I press the W, I'm going max W, max forward. Whereas on a controller, I can ease forward in. So to make it so you can have fine motor controls for a javelin while you're flying was a triumph. The guns felt good. The abilities felt good. The combos felt good. The gameplay generally felt really good. It looked fantastic. The graphics are great. It's a fantastic looking game. 5 years later, it still looks really, really good. Probably 6 years now. So, gameplay, graphics, both really good. All the other things can come later. You know, if they added more multiplayer content, inactivity notice, if they added more multiplayer content to this game, if they added more missions, more interesting variety, if they added more RPG aspects, you know, gave us more ways to customize our javelins, gave us more abilities, gave us more weapons, gave us more things that combo together. Think Diablo 4, think Path of Exile 2, think those kinds of RPGs where you have these interesting mechanics working together, combining with your abilities, combining with your gear to give you a more customized javelin to your taste, to your style. If they added all those things, which they 100% could have, it's not that hard to add to a game you've already built. It could have been something great. It could have really leaned into that multiplayer aspect, which is still going for Mass Effect 3. So they know how to do it. Or they could have gone the other way. They could have focused entirely on single player and added more single player content, more DLC, more narrative, more things you can do, and just tuned it towards playing by yourself. Got rid of those enemies and the open world and all of that stuff and made a more handcrafted experience for the DLC. That would have been successful as well. So they needed to go one way or the other. But either way, the bones are there. It's going to be sad if we can't ever play Anthem again. But I think that's what's happening, guys. I think on the 12th of January, a chapter closes in the history of Bioware, and I don't think we will see it again. And that's what I feel. Unless someone out there really, really loves this game for some reason and works their ass off to turn the Frankenstein monster of code that they've cobbled together to make this thing work, they turn it into something that can work offline, that can work local co-op. I don't know how to do it. It seems like a monumental task, but best of luck to you if you're listening right now for some reason and you've planned to do it. But for everyone watching the live stream, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm probably going to make a video on this soon enough. I am working on other things. I am working on the Shepherd's Play series. Obviously, a lot of you love that series and I really appreciate it. But what you need to understand is a few aspects of that series. One, it takes me a lot of time, guys. I have to write all the jokes. I have to write it so it's a cohesive story. Then I have to voice it. I do all the voices myself. And then I need to apply AI, obviously, to change those voices into the characters that you know. But as an Australian, putting on an accent is very difficult for all of these characters. Like Zaid, for example, putting on his gruffness is really hard. So I need to constantly record and re-record and re-record and re-record and change the script and change the script. It takes a long time to get it right. And the main problem is once I do that and I invest all this time, when I upload it to YouTube, YouTube will push back sometimes. It will say you're demonetized or you're limited monetization. And when it does that, there's nothing I can do. I need to go back in and change what I've made. There's no way I can just fix it on YouTube. I need to modify what I've made, try to make it so YouTube will accept it and it won't be flagged. Because if it's flagged, no one will see it. I won't make any ad revenue off of it. Even though a lot of the ones that I have uploaded don't have any ad revenue on it at all. Like I'm not making any money off of it. The tier list one, for example, I'm not making any money off of it because it's just it's flagged. The season one, the full season one, it's completely flagged. I don't make any money off of that, and that's over 4 hours long of content that I've had to make. I've had to write, shoot, voice, all of that. So in terms of, this is my full-time job, you know. I do have a cafe that I run, but that's a side thing. But this is my primary job. And if I spend over a week making something and it doesn't make any money at all, that is hard to explain to my wife. Let's just say I've got a lot of mortgages I need to pay. So what I need to do to get the next episode of Shepherd Plays up is I need to modify what I've already made. And I've made a skeleton of where I want the story to go. I need to modify that so that YouTube will accept it. And it's just been taking a long time because I don't want to shoot the whole thing, record the whole thing, if the basics there aren't even being accepted, because it might be 10 minutes to half an hour to an hour of a video, depending on how much I put into it. That was all almost wasted because most of you won't see it, because it'll be flagged by YouTube and shadow banned, which means it won't be recommended to anyone. It won't make any money. And it generally either will be giving me a strike on my channel, or it just won't be accepted. So there's a lot of things I need to do to make it work. And the laws on YouTube have gotten stricter since I started doing the AI stuff. Now AI, there's a little checkbox you need to check when you upload the video to say that it is AI. If you don't, you can be flagged and your channel can be flagged. And when you do that, it's not recommended to people, especially people that that have shown indication that they're anti-AI. So it's become a minefield, and it's almost like that's why you don't see a lot of AI stuff on YouTube. It's because it is a minefield now that YouTube is trying to avoid. So I love making the videos because it makes me laugh, and I will go about my day coming up with jokes that I can make them say and make you guys laugh, and it makes me really happy to do that. It's just become really difficult, guys. It's become really hard to do. What used to take a week might take months now, because of all the hoops I have to go through. But I know how the series ends, and I really want to get the ending there, because I think it's a really profound ending. And the first time I made the Shepherd Plays series, I made it with the ending in mind. I made it so that all of this stuff will make sense, at least in some way, what is happening. It might not be the most satisfying thing ever, but there's a reason why it is the way it is. And yeah, I want to get that through. I want to get that done before I stop making the series. Obviously it's got to have an end eventually, but I want to get that out. And if I choose to make anything after that point, it's possible. It's still possible. The ending doesn't need to be the end, but I definitely want to get at least the ending done before YouTube makes it impossible for me to make these videos. So I do, like you guys are saying there, yes, I do all of my own recording. I do all of my own editing. I do all of my own research, planning, everything. I do it all. So it's a big process. And many people that know big YouTubers know that, I'm not saying I'm big, but know that the bigger ones, they all use editors, all of them, because editing takes a lot of time, so I don't use them because I like to get my stuff up as quick as I can. I don't use it because I can't afford to use editors. I don't use it because the one editor that I did start training up, I worked with him very closely. I taught him things. I taught him how to do things. He became so valuable that he got a job almost instantly, like a full-time job. And if you're freelancing as an editor, getting a full-time job as like a senior editor at a company is just better if you've got family, which he did. So I feel like if I train anyone up to be a good editor, they're going to get a job almost instantly. And that's the 3 months that I've spent wasting my own money investing into this person, only for him to leave. So for me, it just is, it's not, right now, it's not viable. So I have to do everything myself. And that means that I have to juggle between making content that makes at least some money, like ad revenue money, and then making content I want to make, like the Shepherd's Play stuff. And then I also have to deal with the fact that some people only want to see the Shepherd Play stuff. They don't want to see information about other games. And if that's the case, then YouTube will recommend them videos about the other games. They won't click on it. And then YouTube will think those videos aren't doing very well. So it actually does impact my channel to the point where I need to almost separate the Shepherd Play stuff from my channel. But then I don't want to do that, because if I start doing that and I start making separate channels for all the things I want to do, I'm not having as much fun. You know, I'm having to pull myself two ways, just like Anthem had to pull itself two ways, single player and multiplayer. And that's a good segue. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do. I appreciate all of you. I've been doing this for a while now. There was a 2-year or 3-year period where I took a long break. I was probably, in the Anthem times, one of the biggest Anthem channels in terms of views that was around. And now you see my content, I get barely any views comparatively to what I used to with games like Anthem and things like that, because I took this massive break. I took a 2 or 3 year break from doing all this stuff, and I was only half in it because I was building up another business. I was building up a cafe, and I had to be there almost every day to make sure it was working. And now that I've come back into doing this and focusing on this, now that my cafe and my restaurant functions without me, now I need to put in a lot more work to make the channel back to where it was, and that also means I need to do different content. I can't just do Shepherd Plays stuff, which I want to do, but let's just say, because it's so niche, let's just say it's the most popular Shepherd Plays video. It will get hundreds of thousands of views, but it won't get millions. I could make, and I have made, for example, like a cyberpunk tutorial video, and it will get over 1 million views. And if it gets over 1 million views, it's paid for that whole week of working for me. But if I make a Shepherd Plays videos and gets 100,000 views and it gets almost no ad revenue because it's flagged, and most of them are, that's cost me a week. So the next week I have to work double as hard, right? To make something that will actually bring in some revenue. If I didn't have mortgages to pay, then I would be a bit more free, but that's just the reality of it. Anyway, I digress. All this to say, I really want to get more stuff up that you want to see. So let me know what that is. Honestly, just let me know. With the Shepherd's Play stuff, doing them playing through video games is not harder, but it's also narratively not as valuable to the series, if that makes sense. Narratively, it doesn't progress the storyline. If I have them playing, let's just say, a new game that comes out, that is almost like I'm putting the pin in where the series is going and just cracking some jokes and having fun, which is good. But the next stage is I want to progress the narrative and finish it off and round it off, so I can go back to just having like little 5-10 minute segments where they just have fun, because I've left a lot of doors open that I want to close. So, all right, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna end it there. I want to know though, let me know in the comments if you're still watching. Let me know in the comments what you want to say about Anthem. Have I missed something with my little end of conversation wrap up of what I think about the game? Did I miss anything that you really need to point out? Was there content that they added that you liked? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I actually do really love you all, and I do notice you all commenting, and I do try to respond to every single one of you in the comments. It takes a bit of time, and if I miss you, I'm really sorry, but I've started leaving voice replies to all your comments as well. So if you just want to talk to me, seriously, jump on Discord. I'll reply to you there, or shoot me a comment on YouTube, and I'll reply to you via voice if I can, because I have to do it on the phone. You can't actually do it via YouTube on the PC for some reason just now, but it is in beta. I will reply to you. I'll do my best. And if I don't, reply to your own message and say, hey, where's my reply? And I'll get to you. All right. So thank you so much, guys.